What's the dumbest reply to a serious question you've heard? Me writing a construction bid. Is the standard flooring for these units going to be tile or vinyl? The client, yellow. Love it when you give two answers as options and a third, unhelpful one pops up instead. My girlfriend has a habit of answering yes when I present her with two options. It usually means the first option. In physics, there's something called the right-hand rule, which helps you find the direction of force given the direction of the magnetic and electric fields. It's a little hard to explain how exactly, but you literally use your right hand as a model. My professor asked me in front of the class what the first thing you needed to identify in order to use the rule was. I panicked and answered, your right hand. I was on a job and we needed to have a structural engineer to come in and look at one of the floors to make sure it was stable enough. So we asked the owner's daughter, who was supposedly a business major who was gonna take over her dad's company, if she had a contact number for the structural engineer her dad normally dealt with when having his buildings renovated. She looks at the three of us, me, my assistant superintendent and project manager, and goes, oh yeah, but he's busy working on my car at the moment. All three of us. What? Her. Yeah, he's working on my engine in my car. Why do you guys need him? Engineers work on engines, not buildings. I got a former friend a job at my workplace. She was seriously stressing, talking about how if she doesn't find a job, her ex might win the custody case and take the kids, and she wasn't finding anything. So I talked to my boss and got her position doing what I do. 1 week later, she was supposed to go on her first call. She overslept by 4 hours and ended up missing the job. I called her as I was leaving to do the job she missed. I asked, so are you going to talk to our boss and see if he'll give you another chance? She straight up went, I don't think so. Oh well, wasn't meant to be. Girl, what? In law school we had a free clinic for qualifying and lower income people to come in. We couldn't technically advise them because we weren't barred yet, but we could guide and try to help them through some complex issues they might not have a handle on. One guy came in and wasn't even my case but being done by classmate next to me during a session. The man, dead-faced and scared, would filing for bankruptcy ruin my life? Girl, flustered how to answer, well, it looks like your life is already pretty bad. Back in India, my company had hired a motivational speaker to give a speech at an event. There were 300-odd people with senior people of HR also in audience. Everyone was bored, but the lady instructor kept on going on how to build self-confidence. Sensing that people are not interested, she started getting audience involved. I, being a backbencher as always, did not care about it at all. I thought she would stay in front. I was feeling sleepy and not paying any attention to it. After some time I saw her coming to the back. She suddenly stopped next to me and asked me, are you motivated? I was not sure what was going on. I answered, no, I am Dave. Half of the crowd started laughing. She was taken aback by my answer and did not know how to respond to this. She did not come to the back to ask questions after that. I was a nanny when I was in college for this very bizarre family who always pretended like I wasn't there. I was walking down the street with the mother and her 2 kids. It was February and the sun glare was really bad, so naturally I was wearing sunglasses. One of the kids, about 4, asked his mother why I was wearing sunglasses in winter, and the mother responds, well, some people are not that smart, and they just want to look cool. Please note, both parents were professors at an Ivy League college. I actually remember my mom making a similar snarky comment. We were in the car, sunny cold winter day, saw a couple with sunglasses, and she said STH along the lines of, I don't get it, people wearing sunglasses in winter. I looked up and said, sunglasses protect against the sun, not the heat. Her face went then like, that makes sense. At work, a customer asked one of our chefs where the fish comes from. He pointed to the kitchen and said, it just comes through that door. My mom likes to ask restaurants if the fish is fresh or frozen. Many Chinese restaurants will keep tanks of live fish in the back or sometimes even out front where customers can see. So she asks, is it a swimming fish? Best answer she's ever received. No, it's dead. We were discussing about Antarctica, and some guy casually said, stone cold face, you don't actually believe Antarctica is a real place, right? That sounds like something a flat earther would say. Those that believe that Antarctica is actually a wall of ice surrounding everything. Dr. Tamam, Are you vaccinating your son? About 1 year, according to the chart I gave you? Mom, better than that. I am breastfeeding him. This was in India last year. Didn't know this was happening in India too. Oh, this drives me crazy. Yeah, breastfeeding is good for them. But it doesn't prevent diseases. Where do people get that idea? Do they think people dying of these diseases centuries ago were fed formula? Traveling in car down a street looking for a particular shop. Question: so which shop is it? A. The one by the tree. Road is lined with trees. When accused of nepotism after giving his son an important role as a politician, Brazil's president said, "He has to be someone's son, why can't it be mine?" Truly an argument you can't fight back. Asked my ex-boss, alcoholist POS, if he knew how to do X thing on the system and could show me. He replied with yes and went home. Just a yes and left. One time my friends and I were hanging out in his apartment. All of a sudden I hear a whoosh and look over at my friend and his hair is on fire. We get it out quickly and I asked him what the hell just happened. He told me, "I was trying to listen to the sound the lighter made when I flicked it." Hey Yogi, what time is it? You mean now? No, obviously I mean what time is it tomorrow? I helped a friend, Bob, get hired working in the back room of a retail store. I was good friends with the manager, Tim, and I would periodically check in to see how Bob was doing. I was a manager as well at the time at a different location. Tim was very pleased with Bob's work ethic and productivity. I talked to Bob and he said he was enjoying the job. After about 5 or 6 months I got a call from Tim asking if I've talked to Bob recently. I replied no and asked if everything is okay. Tim informed me that Bob has been a no-call no-show for about a week and he was worried about him. I immediately called Bob to see what was going on. Bob informs me that he decided to quit the job. In utter dismay and confusion I shout, "What? Why? I vouched for you. Why would you do that without at least giving me a heads up?" He replied, "Man, every time someone new gets hired they put them with me to train them, and that's not my job." Technically he was right, it wasn't his job to train new hires, but what Bob didn't know is managers did things like this to groom the associate into becoming a supervisor, gradually giving them more responsibilities over time. They did the same thing with me when I was coming up the ranks. He would have known this if he had called me before he decided to quit. Once I explained I could hear the wires connecting in his brain. He apologized and asked if he could get his job back. I told him probably not since he left the way he did. Just because it's not your job now doesn't mean it won't be your job in the future. Out of all the replies here, I think this is the one that actually affected the dude's life. Like, doing or saying a stupid thing in front of people is one thing, but this person probably denied himself a better position or pay. Who knows how things could have gone for him if he hadn't done that. 5 years ago I asked my now girlfriend on a date. Stupidly she said yes. Now she's stuck with me. I'm a high school teacher and I heard this one once. "What's Sudoku?" Deadpan serious. Very condescending, it's the highest form of ritualistic Japanese suicide. I worked at a place that served coffee and ice cream. I asked a customer what she wanted to order, and she replied with, "Are your milkshakes cold?" What's the dumbest reply to a serious question you've heard? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.